Daniel Hakim. What a journey you've had with CUB.
I launched CUB to give myself the ability to meet other accomplished business owners.
What does travel mean to you, Dan? How does Dan travel?
Well, it's a combination of privacy and of width as opposed to length.
How do you earn your points?
Amex.
If you have the points, then if you can find a flight, then you'll go. Business owners can now travel more often, see more things, bring ideas, innovation, make connections.
They make me feel so special and comfortable that I'm happy with. I'd rather not go to a more comfortable seat, but not have that.
Oh yeah.
So
right.
That's how always business class, look out the window, and if you can't see an engine, then you're in the right place, generally. So
that's going to change my life. I'm never going through normal again.
What a journey you've had with CUB as an entrepreneur, but also a leader and just known as dad as well now. We want to dive into today everything around business class up in the sky and on the ground, and the mindset on what happens when you turn left instead of right. Dan, tell us about your last 10 years. Like, you've literally celebrating
My
the
last 10 years is going to be a big story.
Yeah, big story, but some milestones in regards to taking that turn left. In regards to, you are, I reckon, the first community in Australia that's really helping over 200,000 business owners, and that's the trajectory. I'm glad to be a part of it. Why did you turn left in creating this in the first place, CUB?
Well, look, I wouldn't say we're the first community helping business owners, but we're the only one that's ever figured out how to become as big as we got. So how to provide like really strong, enjoyable networking experience for as many members as we have. CUB was very much, by all means, an accident. So like in terms of turning left instead of right, that was essentially the whole journey, because I never knew what I wanted to do. So when I was thinking of a business to do, I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I did know who I wanted to serve, which was business owners. And they were the people I admired most. And so I knew like I wanted to serve them. I had also grown up overseas. So I grew up in Paris, spent a lot of time in London, and for my high schooling anyway, and a bit of university. And so members clubs were a thing that I was used to. And so when I came back, I looked up like a members club for business owners. Not that they would have accepted me at the time, because I was 21 and didn't have a business, but that's what I looked up. And there just weren't any. They were the kind of the old stuffy men's only clubs, or they were the, which probably would have been more suitable to me at the time, the like more cheaper networking or like startup incubators and things of that nature, which I liked nice things. So that wasn't...
Probably more like a community they were rather than an actual club, right?
Yeah, it just wasn't the brand that I wanted. Like I wanted something really beautiful and premium, and the cheaper networking just didn't look how I wanted it to look. It wasn't what I was looking for.
Yeah, you had a vibe.
Yeah, so I launched CUB to be, for that reason, to give myself the ability to meet other accomplished business owners. And at the time when I launched, I didn't have a plan as to like, this is how it works. This will be our point of difference. This is going to be the systems of which we network people. Like there was none of that. It wasn't even networking, actually. It was more of a members club like you'd find in London, where you had, you'd remember we had waiters and a restaurant, and we had hospitality. The networking came as an accident. It was just people. Well, I based on my conversations with people, they weren't joining and staying for another place to eat and drink. They were joining to meet other people that they felt that they aligned with, that were on the same journey. Like people often say, like I don't talk to my family about work because I don't want to stress them out. Which, like, I agree, I get that. And I can't talk to my friends because they may not be in the same situation as me. And so they pretty much all say that. So I'm just looking for that group of people I'm looking for that third community, essentially. And that's how the networking came. So like I started, actually, in my opinion, a business model that doesn't really work well in Australia, which is the international style members club business model. But I listened to people and to why they were actually joining, not what I thought was cool. And over time, then over the next, that maybe took 2 years. So then over the next 8 years, we just got better at providing them what they actually wanted, which was connections with people that they found value in.
Yeah, it's amazing how you start with A and then you pivot, not by any intention, but then your business becomes B, because that's actually what your customers want from you.
Totally.
And they're making it happen.
I always tell people, like, just don't worry about your idea. Just start. My old man used to say that to me. He goes, where you start and where you end up is going to be completely different. It doesn't really matter. Just start.
Yeah.
And I feel like that starting period is where most people fail, because they don't start. It's too scary, or it's not the right idea, or I don't know enough, or I'm not prepared enough. Now, starting without preparation can also make things harder and be bad, but I would still argue it's better than not starting.
I really agree, yeah. I was there in the first clubhouse.
Very early.
I really liked it because you had, like you said, you had this premium finish, you had the bar, you had waiters, so you could just go there and relax and chat. And the chatting just came normally because there's other people in the seat next to you. You just naturally have a chat.
Steve had the business class lounge without having to book a boarding pass. I think that was Melbourne. And and we're just so grateful as members for the last 6 months. It's for someone that builds communities myself and helps other communities through their travels and experiences. And as I said to you before the podcast, traveling to the US, because as you said, or rest of the world where these member clubs belong, there was nothing here. And then obviously coming across CUB, like, I really feel like it's the members are building it for members, like, as in there's this collective compounding interest of just the energy of the place. I can't kind of really put it into words, but even last night it was amazing, just that culture and community that you've created and the safe space, which as a business owner or business owners, it's hard to find, especially in Australia and New Zealand. So hats off to you.
You're talking about one of those core sessions that you went to yesterday. And I think it's got a real cool, relaxed Australian vibe about it, because you don't have membership cards. I don't know. When I turn up, they go, oh, yeah, come on in. It's like, do you know?
They know you're a member.
How do you know who I am? And I think that's for everyone. And that's the magic of it, is that you don't feel like you have to tap.
Yeah, the idea, like, every business has things that are easy about it and things that are hard about it. The hard part about our business, about CUB, is that the product is actually not a product, it's the members. That's the product. Yep. The product is the community. And that product is forever changing and evolving, because you're always adding people, and some people change, and different people come together, has a different vibe than these people come. So it's a forever changing product. So a big part of what we need to focus on to ensure that, every experience with the club is good is the culture, like what you were saying. It's like, how do we make it so that two members that haven't met each other before, when they do meet, they're super lovely to each other, they're super helpful, they actually want to meet each other and talk to each other. And a lot of that comes down to, things we do, but there's also structural things you can do. For example, like, the membership price is $10,000. So they've paid good money to meet each other. Like, they're all there because they want to meet each other. So they are open to doing that. When you might attend, like, someone that goes to an event or a networking thing that costs very little or that was free, you walk in, but you're kind of like, I don't know. Well, first of all, no one's vetted. And then it's kind of like, I don't really want to go speak to them, because it does feel unnatural to do that.
Intentions are not clear.
Yeah, there's no intention.
Because some people might not be
They're not
there.
as bought in.
Yeah.
So I think that being premium, like I would argue we're kind of the most premium business networking brand in Australia. So being premium has its advantages in the sense that, well, it attracts people that want a premium brand and therefore a premium experience. But in my opinion, it also acts as a benefit towards the actual membership experience, because I did pay $10,000, I better go speak to him. I am open to that. Well,
I think it's actually networking. Unfortunately, has got a bit of a dirty lens to it sometimes. I actually feel like what you do so well, it's actually the ultimate business connection. community, because when you're in there, I don't even want to call them account managers, but
we call them relationship
managers, making those uncommon connections, whereas you'll gravitate to potentially one side of the room or that type of persona, whereas they really do know the members and make those connections.
And if they see someone by themselves, they'll like literally quickly go up to them, be like, "Oh, hey, how you going?" And then like bring them through, introduce them to someone that they should be. It's like a bit of a like ballroom dancing style thing, We're watching from above and we're seeing, oh, someone's alone, got to grab him, bring him in,
It is the business class experience, and I want to kind of lens back onto, obviously your time overseas as well, and how has that really shaped on what you're creating back here in Australia, and some of those travel journeys that you brought back into Australia as well.
Well, it completely shaped what I ended up doing, because I went to an international school, the American School of Paris, which is an international school. It's essentially just a school of kids from families of big business, politics, and then like Arab sheiks and Russians and like all the other stuff.
Cosmopolitan.
But it was very good networking, essentially. I mean, I wasn't viewing it like that at the time.
You were just living.
Yeah, I was just a kid, but I was constantly surrounded by powerful families and really interesting people, and so I just became really used to that, I guess. And when I got older, I realized, oh wow, like this is really beneficial. Like I started noticing the benefits, and my old man was very conscious to do that for me as well, without me knowing. He wanted to put me in the right places with the right people, because he understood how important that is in business.
So would you say proximity, and that's the environment that you are...
Yeah. Put yourself in the right room with the right people. It's the most important thing in life, literally. I'm fairly certain, other than... you could include it in family, but whoever you surround yourself with and what they're like is going to determine... It's one of the biggest determiners of what you become, what you end up doing. Now, that could be your family, that could be your friends, that could be where you live, suburb, like a location where you live has a big determinant on what you do.
Behaviours, yeah.
Yeah, now, I'm not saying that you live somewhere, that's it, you just act like that. But it is a major, it's proven to be a major contributor.
Yeah, the average of 5.
Yeah, and what I like about CUB is that it makes it very easy for business people that reach a certain stage of business to just have that place they can go to surround themselves with others on that same journey. And the idea is that by doing that, it will push you further in that direction. It'll push you more to the good. Like it'll take you to success faster. It's been that case for me. And I think it's pretty universal. Like when I think about, I know a lot of super successful, even let's just say Australian business people, not part of CUB, just like mentors of mine or friends of mine. And this is really like one of the highest amounts of success you can get. And I've thought about it. They're all so different. Like they're different characters. They run their companies differently. Some are healthy, some are not. They're all different. But there's only two things that they all have in common. And that is, one is they all work like animals. They had work ethic. So like that work-life balance thing, if you want to achieve really major success, I just don't think that's a thing. Because they all work like animals. Yep. And the other thing is they all have great networks. They all are surrounded by great people. Now, whether or not they had that at the start or now that they have that, but I can assure you they're benefiting from having it. So a lot of the idea of CUB was, could we make sure people have that powerful network when they're still on their journey, as opposed to being right at the end of it?
Yeah. But that's why our podcast is called Always Business Class, because the always business part, that's always, as a founder, as a business owner's mind, you're always thinking about business. Yeah. Wherever you go, even though you go on holidays, you try to relax, but you're looking and go, oh, there's an opportunity there. Or there's an opportunity, oh, that could be done better. Or you bring back goodness back to your business because you've seen it done excellent elsewhere, like hospitality. Totally. You bring back the goodness and apply it to your business.
Or even just like when you go somewhere and you're like, wow, that place is a really well-run business. Like, you know that owner is clever. Like,
You
because
admire them.
yeah,
How they got the whole sequence.
you can tell they're smart.
Yeah.
Like, just because you see how everything else is working, you know. I love that.
So in your growth, and then there's compounding, right? As you get your member growth, 10, 20, 50, 100, what do you see changes? What do you see change in the behavior of your members or the behavior of your vision coming to life?
The behaviors of members don't change. The way that you... Like, if I was to say... I know you said 200,000 at the start. We have almost 2,500 CUB members, and we also then serve through our other membership tiers and communities an additional almost 30,000. Yep. So that's the number of businesses we provide networking services to. But what's changed since the start to the end? At the start, like when you first joined,
yep.
Like what you described was how the networking works. You come in, you sit down, you might talk to someone. If you do talk to someone, it's normally pretty good because they're quite interesting. But there was no system towards it, and we were able to do it that way because, you know, there might have been 50 or 100 members, so you actually know all the members. You can introduce them, and you can. You know, as you scale and get bigger, you need systems that guarantee every member's going to receive a minimum, or receive a kind of a baseline experience.
You have a playbook, I think.
And then the other, so you need to change how you do it. It does have to become more intentional. It can't be, we try to make it feel like you were saying relaxed, but it is intentional because it has to be for us to deliver it for thousands of people.
Yeah. It's like a finely tuned recipe that just continues to, every week is evolving. I feel like when you're going in there from the events to what's needed, like I really feel like, the listening part is huge within CUB.
Totally.
So shifting gears a little bit from, me and Steve kind of operate in very much the journey on the destination. Mm-hmm. What is that kind of North Star destination for you with CUB in the community? I know it's very much about paying back and setting up this next, you're a dad now as well, this like next generation of business owners and entrepreneurs coming through. But what's that sort of destination?
Well, I mean, the end goal is that we want to be the world's largest business networking organization for business owners. Now, what that would look like, it would look like clubhouses in every major city and membership types and communities to suit people at every stage of the journey. CUB is currently our most premium membership, which means it's not accessible to everybody because of eligibility requirements, but also because of price. But 92% of all businesses essentially don't have access to CUB. So creating the different communities and membership tiers that we have.
With BOA and
like BOA, our early stage community at CUB. Yeah. They enable us to make it possible for us to have an impact on a business owner from day one. And we want to be able to have that community for them at every stage they get to.
And it's aspirational as well, like BOA, it's just like flying, right? Until you get away from platinum, but it's that ascension model and moving up the tiers. And when I kind of referenced
you'd be proud when you move up.
Totally, like 200,000. When me and Steve were like, well, what is our ICP in regards to who we can help? And it's very much that premium CUB. There's 200,000 business owners in Australia that are doing more than $1 million, and that's where we know we can help the most business owners turn this expenses into points. When I was kind of referencing to that number, but
sorry,
that's all right, mate. But no, you're going to be at 200,000 very shortly.
I was going to say I don't want to correct him because I sound like a champion. But
what does travel mean to you? How does Dan travel? And we can talk, and we'll reference it in the whole destination journey. Like, what lights you up about traveling? Like we just talked about Mexico. You're taking your grandmother. 94. Wow, it's just amazing. There's intergenerational travel. Yeah, what lights you up? How do you travel?
Well, travel to me has always been more of a thing I had to do because I would live overseas or I would live in Melbourne at one point. Like, travel for me was never like, I only travel when I'm going on a holiday. Mm-hmm. It was just part of my life. So for me, travel was always about just being comfortable, because sometimes I might be traveling, but it's not like for an exciting purpose. It's it's just so when you're excited, you don't mind. I'll sit in economy and I don't give a shit. I'll sacrifice 24 hours of my life to be uncomfortable because I'm gonna get
Yeah.
2 weeks of awesomeness. But that was just never the case.
So what does
me.
comfortable mean for you? Define comfortable.
Look, privacy is probably the best definition of comfortable. So like I prefer, well, it's a combination of privacy and of width as opposed to length, if I was talking about a flight seat. So for example, Singapore would be my preference of an airline because the seat width is always bigger. So like I prefer both the business and the first in Singapore over that of, I love Emirates too, so I don't want to bag out Emirates, but I prefer the Singapore.
No airline sponsor is of this podcast, so you're free to go.
No, but that being said, like, and they both have advantages and disadvantages too. But I prefer the wider seat. Emirates is more private. It's actually a lot more private, but it's longer and kind of thinner. So I do prefer the wider.
It's like this seat, very wide, even wider.
Yeah, I think wider, to be honest.
Yeah.
But maybe the business class would be like this.
You can tuck your feet up sometimes, and you feel.
Yeah.
When I do that, it feels weird because I'm not using the leg space.
Yeah.
I'm using the width, not the length.
Yeah. I went to the other big one for me is when I travel internationally, is the lounges with the airline at the stopover place, and Singapore has the best first class lounge. That literally, I think it must be the best in the world. I doubt there's a better one than that in Singapore, and I really love that. Whereas sometimes you go to, I won't mention other airlines now, I feel bad, but sometimes you might go to another airline and you do the stopover and the lounge is so big, it's like an airport and you just feel like you're at an airport.
Well, I know
like,
which one you're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah. There's a few like that though.
Me
There's
too. I
went
through one this morning.
Yeah, there's a few like that. So, so for me, like it's more like I need to travel. I don't mind being by myself anyway. I can work. I like the long trips anyway. I just need to be comfortable. If I'm not comfortable, like I won't be a happy chappy.
And would you say you're a status loyalty, or are you like, you know what, I'm just going to get there the most comfortable way, and I'm not so stuck on this whole.
No, it's a combination.
Yep.
Like I am 100% faithful to Virgin Australia at this point because I'm a Beyond
Virgin
member.
listening.
Yep.
So I have, like, they make my life so comfortable. I can't tell you how good that is and how good Virgin is to me. Like, they really do. And a lot of people tell me, oh, Qantas is better plane, better business class and things like that. But the experience I get with Virgin going through the airport and everything, even when I'm on the plane, they know that I'm like a special status.
Yep.
Like, they make me feel so special and comfortable that I'm happy with. I'd rather not go to a more comfortable seat, but not have that.
Oh, yeah.
So
right. What about overseas when you have no benefit of that status?
I only fly overseas, Singapore, Emirates, and maybe like some of the other Arab airlines like Qatar or something like that. Well, I've never flown Qantas overseas, or pretty much any other airline actually. So I would only fly those airlines.
Well, the good thing is Singapore and Qatar are both Virgin partners, so you get looked after.
I didn't even know that.
The whole way through, and whereas Emirates is hooked up with Qantas.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Well, I definitely fly Emirates and Singapore the most. Singapore now, you can't get the points flights as easy. So you used to be able to get the points. I mean, you guys, I'm sure, can.
We can sort you out.
So maybe you can sort me out. But back in the day, you used to be able to get the Singapore points flights. Now you just can't find them.
Used to be super easy.
Whereas with Emirates and Qatar, you can still get the points flights. Yeah. So I've tend to fly more of them because also the airline tickets have just gone so absurd.
Yep.
That like it's like it's almost like laughable. You feel sick paying it.
It's been a COVID
since COVID.
COVID gravy train for the front the pointy nose. It's only gone.
We always talk about the conflict between status and points. So status is people chasing status by flying on one airline. So they tend to be loyal to one airline, so they can earn a status credits to climb from silver to gold to platinum.
Yeah. For me, it's points.
Points, yes.
If the airline is good with points, it's good.
Yeah.
Unless it's, I think, domestic status helps because you can sit at the front of the plane, you can get on first, you have more luggage, whatever. So status helps with domestic, but international, it is, in my opinion, 100% points.
Yeah. Well, the magic of points is if you're flying business class anyway, you get the benefit of everything. Like Steve flew up from Melbourne business class, and they just looked after you on points, of course. That's our style.
That's how always business class. Look out the window, and if you can't see an engine, then you're in the right place generally. So
you can't see the wing.
You can't see the wing. What's been a memorable experience that you've had that you can kind of go? We've all had those conversations. I actually had one today. Double click on later on, but up the front, the pointy nose, the conversation. What is the mindset that for people that haven't gone business and they're like, that's stupid money, that's aspirational, I'm not going to get there. But yeah, what's one of those memorable journeys that might pop to mind?
I have a lot, actually.
Yeah.
I got a lot of good memories on planes. I've always enjoyed traveling, and I've been lucky to always be able to enjoy, have a positive flight experience.
Yeah.
But the biggest one, honestly, the one that blew me away recently the most was on my 30th. I flew with my wife, which is now my wife, but I flew to Europe, and with Singapore, and that was the year they opened that new lounge. And when I got to that first class lounge in Singapore, and even on the way there, it was us, and it was one of the ex-British prime ministers who was in first class, and he had his secret service around him and things like that. And they went to business class, actually, so it was just us and him. And then at the end of the flight, they all quickly ran up, and then
so he had no protection from you.
No, he was fucked. He was. I was going to get him, but I can't remember his name. I wish I did. Alice, my wife, recognized him. We actually didn't know who he was. We were like, "Who's this?"
Tony Blair?
No. Yeah, no, it wasn't. No, but she ended up finding him somehow. But anyway, then we landed in Singapore. And it was it was truly spectacular. I couldn't believe how good the lounge was. It was probably the nicest lounge I've ever been to. Actually, recently, I went to Lebanon for the first time in my life for a wedding. And coming into Lebanon, because obviously the country really doesn't have a government, essentially. It was Hezbollah controlled. So there's not really good services in the country. So I'm coming into the airport, and the line to get out of it, when I arrived, was just so bad, and everyone was in the line. And then the guy in the front might take a break if he wants. He doesn't get, I was like, I'm not. I was like, I won't leave this country. I'm not going back into that airport. Anyway, I actually bumped into a friend, and I said, I can't go through that airport again. And he said, no, don't worry about it. I'll give you the number of this. Lady, she helps me. She does the VIP airport thing.
Right, yep.
I was so grateful. My flight was at 6:30 p.m. I arrived to the airport at 6. I drove past the airport. True story. This is 2 weeks ago. I drove past the airport. I pulled up in this, I don't know, it was kind of like a private airport. It was it might have been attached to the private airport. They were all nice cars. And at first I was like, where are these people taking me? Because I was in Lebanon. I don't speak Arabic.
Who is this woman?
I don't know. Are they just going to kidnap me? I didn't know what was going on. Anyway, then I saw a bunch of wealthy looking people in their cars, and they had assistants. And I was like, okay, well, this looks a bit safer. And I had the craziest airport experience of my life, because I literally just walked, boom, they did my bags for me. They walked me through security, whatever. They put the stuff through, but they did that. Did the passport control. I didn't even have my passport. They were just holding it for me. Ping. Then they put me in a Maybach. I drove across the tarmac and walked straight into my plane.
Yeah.
Didn't even go to the. It was actually that was the craziest airport experience I've ever had. I got back and I keep telling everyone that story.
The most VIP experience.
Yeah, and I also discovered though, a lot of international airports.
Have
that, yeah. I had actually done it before. I went to Israel once, and I did it in Israel as well. And a lot of the Arab airports all have the VIP thing, and it's not that expensive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's actually operated across all airports. You can get it from Sydney, Melbourne, and everything.
No way.
Yeah.
That's going to change my life. I'm never going through normal again.
It's going to be.
I will never go through the airport again.
Well, sometimes, if you land in Melbourne, Sydney, you can get out in 20 minutes.
Yeah. Sometimes
it's 2 hours, but you don't know if it's 20 or 2 hours.
Yeah. I normally have a decent time in. If you're sitting also at the front of the plane, if you do what you guys do in Europe, at the front, like you get off the plane, you get out of the plane first anyway, and then you just kind of bang out. It's the problem is when you don't use points to sit in the front. And I use points for as many flights as humanly possible. So by no means am I outlaying heaps of cash to do these flights.
Well, the beauty about points, I actually want to dive a little bit about points. That's sort of like my wheelhouse. So how do you earn your points?
Amex,
paying just business expenses.
There's business stuff and then there's personal.
Yep. Do you earn with a plan, or do you just randomly pay stuff? Sometimes I might pay for this, sometimes I might pay for that.
You're saying, do I earn points with a plan? No, it's just whatever we charge through. Like my business has a lot of expenses. That we can pay. Like we got to be like, for example, we spend $2.5 million a year just at hospitality venues, just at restaurants for things like for members coming together and doing things.
That's tap. Awesome.
Yeah. So like we have a lot of expenses that we can put through on our company Amexes, and so they give me most of my points.
Yeah, that you can earn points on payroll.
Yeah, but you can't use Amex. You have to use pay.com.
Yeah,
or there's other ones.
Other ones like
the
that.
pay.com people reached out to me for a partnership, but they didn't give me a good enough deal, to be honest. He's a really good guy. He's a friend of a member, actually connected me, but they didn't give us something unique enough for the membership.
We can probably restart that conversation for you.
Yeah, that'd be good. Members would do it. Like we'd sign up a lot of members, and then you guys could do all their points.
Well, we had a fantastic points advisory. We obviously launched Flights Club in the media yesterday, and business owners want to be able to use it as a competitive advantage. So I think we had 138 CUB members rock up for our advisory yesterday. And
what do you mean as a competitive advantage?
To be able, we get into business as entrepreneurs and founders, freedom, obviously generate wealth, and then travel and experiences. And it was
I think in terms of travel competitive advantage, because in my mind, the thing about travel is if you get asked to go somewhere, let's say there's a conference overseas, in Los Angeles, the first thing you think about, number one, you check your calendar, you've got anything else on. If you've got nothing on, the next thing you check is how much. How much would it cost me to get there? And the price is the biggest inhibitor for travel.
Totally.
Because anyone who ever travels to a conference or for any purpose always comes back going, that was such a great trip. I'm so glad I went. But getting to that travel, there's all these hurdles like price of flights, which is the biggest, price of hotels, and the tickets for the event. Mm-hmm. So the magic about points, the points solve this hurdle about price, because you just have to think about whether you have the points. If you have the points, then if you can find a flight, then you'll go. So the whole idea about competitive advantage is business owners can now travel more often, see more things, bring ideas, innovation, make connections, do deals at a cheaper price.
That is a competitive advantage. Well, that is a competitive advantage because, I mean, I'm a big advocate for being in person. And like we have offices all over the country. This is true, and it's exactly what you're saying. We were spending too much money this year as a company on travel, way too much. It was just too high on a monthly basis, and so I banned travel last month. but just because I didn't want to go the next 3 months or whenever it was 4 months with that same travel cost, I was like, guys, this is ridiculous. But there's no doubt that the team traveling was having very positive effects on leadership being able to have a bigger impact, different teams feeling special, the leadership being there, training, decision making. There were huge benefits to doing it, but the cost was just so high that if we could do that without that cost, or even with a half or a quarter of that cost, I would still be, still be sending them, because I think it's so important, particularly companies that have either multiple offices like ours, or clients in different areas.
We'll talk after this. We've got a solution.
You can help us out.
Well, I think that's the power of the unlock as well. Like we're talking to a customer yesterday that does a lot of business in Asia, and he was like, I can't keep doing this economy run 4, 5, 6 times a year. But he's like, we can't stretch to pay $12,000 for 2 directors each time and time again. But he didn't realize he was putting $5 million through every quarter without points.
That's huge.
So we literally reworked the whole calculation. So now we can actually fly business at half the price. And he's like, our business has actually just gone up 20% because that's the way business happens in Asia. You sit down, you go out for a dinner, you have a conversation, you do deals. So that was
they
an
love
interesting.
drinking.
They do. Yeah, the
I
Japanese
had a
way.
meeting with a Chinese guy once, and I swear to God, he gave me, every time he said, like, he would make a toast, and then, like, I don't think we were drinking randomly. Like, you had to drink when there was a toast, but every, like, now and then he'd be like, to whatever it is, and then you do a shot of this dragon's breath or something it was called.
White wine or something.
It was wild.
Who got the deal that night, him or you?
Now, he was negotiating, this was a long time ago, he was negotiating to buy CUB, or buy into it at that time. And so he was trying to buy into a good deal, and I was trying to block that. And he was getting me, and Anthony was with me, and he brought his son there. And anyway, I got the better. He didn't realize he was dealing with a professional. He thought he thought he was going to buy
professional
me out.
on both sides.
Yeah.
I love it.
I reckon I checkmated him. No, he's a good man. I still love that guy.
What's on your bucket list, Dan?
To achieve my goals with CUB.
Yep.
And with my life. So, I'm big. Just to achieve my goals with CUB, that would be my biggest.
Yeah. And in the travel
That's all
space.
I need.
And in the travel
I
space.
don't care. Like, of course, I'd love to go see the pyramids and things like that. But I know I can whenever I want. So it's not a. Like I'm lucky enough to have worked hard enough and to have been fortunate enough to be able to do whatever I want in terms of most things like that, which means that I don't end up doing them and I end up focusing on keep working hard. So I keep having more freedom that I therefore don't use. But I think bucket list in terms of travel. I think the more of the world you see, the smarter you become. Literally, like the more of the world you see, and the more of the world you understand, the bigger advantage you have over other people who haven't. And I learned that when I was young, and I still believe that today. So I would want to just see all of the world. And I have been quite restricted to this point because I normally travel to see friends or people I've grown up with. Things I go to specific places, normally the same places. So yeah, but I have never, for example, been to Mexico, which is where my mum's from.
Mate, you're in for a treat. It's one of my favourite places.
Yeah,
so.
Or South America, places like that, or Egypt. I haven't been. So
actually, I want to come back to what we talked about earlier about you're generating more freedom, but you never take that freedom, and that's a real problem, or not a problem,
especially
but
what
it's
we're
common
seeing,
for business owners because you're working to generate your freedom, and in terms of travel, often when you travel far, most people go, oh, if I'm going to go to London, all the way to London, I'm not going to go for 2 days. I'm going to go for 2 weeks, but they don't have 2 weeks. They'll never have 2 weeks. So therefore, they never go to London. Or say the Egypt example. You're not going to go to Egypt for 2-3 days. You want to make it long, but you don't have 2 weeks, and you never have 2 weeks. Therefore, Egypt will never be cheap. What we want people to do is to go. If you've got 4 days, go for 4 days. Use your points. There's no price. Cuts the price. Go for 4 days. If you like it, you might make time for it. If you don't like it,
I agree. Some of the best trips that I've done, especially recently, like now that I've got wife and son, is a super short. I was in Lebanon for 5 days, like 4 days or so. I didn't want to take them to Lebanon because it was essentially like close to a war zone, if not a war zone. So I was like, you guys stay here. But I had to go. It was one of my best friend's weddings. And that was a fantastic 4 It felt like more than enough time. And I will go back now.
Yeah.
I suppose role is unlocking experiences for the EOs and YPOs and things of the world, and space is one of those. Virgin Galactic. So
I don't want to do that.
You don't want to do space.
No, I'd rather go to Africa.
But come to Egypt, come to Africa, and the total eclipse is kind of it moves around, right? Australia had it 2 years ago. Iceland, Greenland's got it next year. But Egypt, it's actually, the eclipse is happening, I think it's the 8th of August, behind the pyramids. So for like 4 minutes in the middle of the day, the moon comes in front of the sun. So it's
that could be when the pyramids take off.
Maybe.
I know, but I'm suspicious about them. I'll tell you a place I went once that I was like, this is a special place that you wouldn't ever go back again, but it's like one of those ones
You already told us that story at Lebanon, right? No?
No. It was in the Arctic Circle. It was in Sweden. I went to the ice hotel.
Oh, yeah.
And I went for Christmas.
Yep.
And like living in, you don't actually live in the ice hotel. You stay there one night and then you go next door. And they've got like, they're not luxury cabins, but they're not ice. And doing the green light, they're called the green lights. What are they called? Northern Lights.
Northern Lights. Thank
you, sir.
Yeah, viewing the Northern Lights, doing the dog sledding, being in the freezing cold. It's dark all the time. That's really that's really special. I'll never forget that holiday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, with the family as well?
With family, yeah.
There's many of those. So when you're thinking about travel and your travel habits and your travel routines, when you get to your hotel, what do you do? What's the first thing you do?
Well, international, I care less about my room. I'll set up the room nice, so it's all like my bag's away and I want it to stay looking nice. But then I'll leave the room ASAP because I want to go check out the hotel first. I want to know where am I eating breakfast? Where can I have a drink before I go out? What's the pool like? I go tip as many people as I can, so that they know, okay, if he comes back, get him the pool bed if he decides to.
I love it.
Come back and your room's upgraded.
Yeah, I've got a system.
Yeah.
And it's a tried and true system. That
show
works.
notes. Watch for the show notes.
Yeah.
Okay,
I walked into Soho House, New York once, and I just tipped every single person that I saw, and I swear I did whatever I wanted for the next 10 hours. I was in there. Still whatever.
Is it extra value if you're staying there for a long time? Or what if you're just staying for one night? Will you do the same?
Yeah, no. You always tip. It doesn't work in Australia because people get confused. They don't remember you. They don't appreciate it. But if you go to the US or literally any other country,
apart from Australia,
apart from Australia, if you just go tip as many people as humanly possible, you'd be surprised what you're allowed to do.
Wow.
And not even allowed to do, but
you do it.
I mean, we keep talking about Lebanon. In Lebanon, we went to this restaurant. It was the hottest restaurant. Whatever. The guy's fully. We had no booking. We just rocked. I was fully booked. We can't do it. It was, it's impossible. He's laughing at us. He's $100. Oh, yep. Let me find you a fucking table. I say, all right, fair. You could have just said, give me $100 and I'll find you a table.
Where did this table come from? Was there actually a table, or did they say to somebody, "Excuse me, the meal's finished"?
I have no idea.
$100 well spent.
What they would have done if I was them, I would have taken $100. Take $100. Give them a table, and then I don't know what happened to the next people that came, and then get them to give me $100. Take the next table off, and then keep repeating it until you got $100 off every table.
What a revenue
stream! And the last person will be screwed. But you as the front host manager just earn $100 per table.
Yeah. Wow. And here we are, always business class. This is the guy, always business class, thinking through it.
So travel routines. So first thing you land, you get in the hotel, you go check it out. Check out the hotel. Eyeball everything. Even if you, that's what I think that's what everyone does. Most people do. They check out the pool. I've been to so many pools that I've never swam in. You just gotta have a look. Oh, this looks nice. Oh, this bar looks nice.
I'm the gym guy. I've got to go and have a look at the gym, and there's so many crap gyms.
You actually use the gym. I just look at the
No,
gym.
most of the time I just admire it and go, okay, that's tick the boat.
But the pool, the bar, and where you eat. I think go look at them first.
Yeah.
Have you done
the breakfast area?
Have you done South America?
No.
Yeah, right.
No, I've been fairly limited actually. I haven't done South America. I haven't done Africa. Actually, no, I haven't done Asia properly. I've done Asia, but not. I haven't been to China. I'd love to go to China. I haven't been to Japan. I'd love to go to Japan. I'd love to go skiing in Japan as well.
How do you see travel fusing into CUB and the community moving forward?
I think it'll be more and more. We're already partners with all the best clubs in pretty much all the major cities. But as CUB opens clubhouses in outside of Australia, our team's travel will dramatically increase, but our members' travel will probably increase too, because people will use CUB as they do now between Australian cities. They'll use CUB as a tool to expand their businesses into new countries, and so I think it'll become a very CUB and travel are one. I mean, the most travelled route on earth, I'm fairly certain you guys can correct me, is Sydney, Melbourne.
Yes.
So, you could argue CUB is travel because they're our two biggest clubs too. So
sometimes in travel it's hard to find a good hotel. You got all these different brands and all these different sort of prices and things like that. How do you go about in finding hotels?
The best way is to ask people who like live there, travel there. That's normally, in my opinion, the best way. Other than that, we use Amex a fair bit. Like our Amex lady tells us, although they'll always skew you to the hotels that they're partnered with. I mean, like Four Seasons. Like if there's a Four Seasons there and I'm unsure where to stay,
You'll go.
I'll go to the Four Seasons because I know, like, I'm gonna like it.
Yep.
You know, like it's a safe bet. I avoid the American hotels. I actually don't know where Four Seasons started, but I avoid mostly big American chains. They use really cheap. They're really well run, but they use really cheap products and things, and they always spray these scents everywhere, so you get blasted with these smells that I hate, and their soaps are so shit. And
Well, we got another choice for you.
Well, lucky, the sponsor is not an American hotel chain. It's
you guys got to give me a heads up.
no worries. All Accor.
Accor's great.
Yeah, so we've just partnered with
We're
them.
a partner of Accor, I'm fairly certain. Potentially CUB.
We've got something pretty exciting
In some way, yes.
at the CUB Awards coming up.
Oh, is that how I've heard this?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, Accor's great.
Or Accor Explorer is our partner. So that's the subscription service for Asia Pacific. So normally for $345, I believe, just like a subscription, you basically buy straight up gold access into Accor Gold.
Yeah.
So you get upgrades, late checkout, early check-in, but you get also extra benefits in dining, up 30% off in dining, up to 10 people.
So we're going to host a dinner tonight and 30% off the dinner bill. And I know you guys do a lot of dinners, and then you get 2 free nights.
So where's the Accor?
Yeah, so Accor Sofitel,
Mondrian.
Peak,
With the
Raffles, Mondrian,
Was Mondrian Accor?
Hyde.
I used to stay at the Mondrian when I was 18 in LA.
Yeah.
That was my, like, from 18 to 21 was my thing. And apparently the Mondrian in Gold Coast, I had a friend come back recently, said it was fantastic. Yeah, I'm excited to go there.
Brand new.
Orient Express.
25 hours. You're staying there tonight.
Oh, well, Accor would be very useful for CUB.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, we could funnel a lot of members to their hotels.
Oh, what sponsors will we have?
There you go.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
yeah,
If
we
you're
totally
listening
can
to
do
that,
that.
Accor.
Well, we have a
Especially the Gold Coast one.
we have a free membership for you as our guest.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
So every podcast gets a couple of free nights and gold status. I think we're the only podcast that we do that.
Yeah,
So
they just say globally with the only podcast that does this. Who knows?
Right.
But yeah, you get to try it out, and you get to 15% off global rates.
Wow.
And up to 50% off sometimes on hot deals.
I love Accor.
a lot of stuff.
But Dan, we're just so grateful for what you've created in Australia for Australians and the people that live in Australia, and I'm excited.
And some New Zealanders.
And some New Zealanders. Well, most of New Zealanders over here. But I'm excited to see where it goes as well. New Zealand, Asia. It's something what Australia's needed for a long time, and it's great that it's now this exponential growth, and also BOA, the accelerator program, and we're obviously big fans of members as well. So thanks so much. And 10 years is no small feat. I know there's got to be some hard challenges in there, and looking forward to tomorrow night with the CUB Awards and celebrating with 500 members.
CUB Awards the biggest, like, honestly, most glamorous award ceremony on the Australian calendar. You're going to have a great time.
Oh, we're looking for. We got our black tie ready.
Fantastic.
Blue tie.
Fantastic.
Yeah, awesome.
Awesome. Thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate you inviting me on.